They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Stars in the House. I'm James Wesley.
And my name is Seth Rudetsky, and together we're the Rudetsky Wesleys. Ow, no, we're not.
Wow.
We've been hosting the show since everything shut the hell down last March, and we're raising money for the Actors
That's
Fund,
right.
which I love to say is a misnomer, which is also my drag name anyway. But what is a misnomer? Still don't really know. What it means is it doesn't really describe. It's not accurate. The Actors Fund is for everybody in the business. So not only actors, singer, dancers, but everybody backstage. So the wig people, the dressers, stage managers, the orchestra, the company managers, everybody front of house, house managers, box office people, ushers, everybody that works in TV and film, and also the caterers and the script supervisors. And it's across the country. It's not just like the hubs, like New York and LA. It's literally everywhere.
Everywhere.
You can go to where?
Well, if you need help, you can go to actorsfund.org.
Yeah.
And if you are able to give, go to starsinthehouse.com or text Fund 2020 to 56512. And if you want one of our guests today to read your donation and your message, forward it to donations@starsinthehouse.com. And we've got a new great total. I have a feeling my hope is that we get to $1 million by my birthday, July 6th. And if the last couple of days total is any indication, we're going to get there. We are up to $886,295 raised for the Actors Fund.
886,000. But that's really high. We were
really
in the
high.
600s like 6 weeks ago.
And we've got some amazing Broadway shows. I mean, look, I love the TV reunions. You're much more of a Broadway person. We say, this is what Seth and I figured out. Seth grew up in the New York area. He was able to see Broadway shows from the time you were 4. Is that right? 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Hair. But me, grew up in Texas, and we went to theater actually a lot for someone who didn't live in New York. But still, TV was it, especially the variety shows of the 70s and all of that stuff. But I digress. So Seth's strengths are theater and my strengths are TV. Wouldn't you say,
In terms
Seth?
of getting all the clips together.
The clips together.
Unless
right,
the show
and
I'm
all that.
obsessed with, like SCTV. But everything else
That
I'm
is
like,
true.
James,
That's
handle
where
it.
I backed out. But all that said, it all comes down to the Broadway shows that really rake in the money. And we've got 1, 2, 3 reunions coming up. three reunions coming up, and they all have matches.
3 Broadway reunions.
3 Broadway reunions. Edwin Drood is on Friday.
I have read the writing on the wall. Tomorrow is Edwin Drood.
Oh my God, that's already tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yes.
With Rupert Holmes and that amazing cast. Betty Buckley and Howard McGillin and John Herrera and original ensemble members, Judy Kuhn, Donna Murphy. Anyway, it's going to be amazing.
Yes, we've got a great match for that on Saturday.
Patty Cohenauer. Yeah.
We have Cinderella.
Yes, Cinderella.
And then the following Friday, we have Anastasia.
Right, Anastasia. Christy Altamari put that together.
That's right. And everyone except for Ramin Karimloo of the original cast is doing it because he's literally going to be flying back from Japan to London. So he's not available. But Max von Essen, who played the role for quite a long time on Broadway, he's going to be doing it. Mm-hmm. So that's coming up. And Seth, before we move on, Maggie, our pal at the Actors Fund, gave me this little update because I love getting these because, yes, the Actors Fund has given out over $20 million since the pandemic hit, but they also do a lot of other things.
Yeah, that's why you should visit actorsfund.org, even if you don't need immediate financial assistance. Like we had that woman on last week.
We had Denise Lee from Dallas when we had Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. on, and she talked about how the Actors Fund helped her navigate her options on in the marketplace for health insurance because she had lost her health insurance that had been through Actors Equity. I think she said she'd had Actors Equity insurance for 20 years. Yeah. And she didn't have it anymore because of everything happening.
So she didn't need money, but the Actors Fund, she was basically saying, she's like, I'm an older lady. She's like, I don't know what the internet.
She said, I'm 60. I can't handle this. Can I talk to a real person on the phone? And she did.
They talked you through the whole thing, how to get health insurance. So my point is visit actorsfund.org. Even if you don't need money, they can have a workshop to help you in your life.
Exactly.
For instance.
So, parenting through a pandemic. If you are living with the challenges of balancing self-care with the needs of your family and navigating a career in the entertainment industry,
When is this workshop? Because I need it. Keep going.
join the Actors Fund virtually for an 8-week discussion and support group. The goal is to create a safe space where parents can share information, offer and receive emotional support, and discuss strategies with other parents who are encountering similar challenges. This sounds like basically every parent, especially during the pandemic. This is great. This support group starts in May and is open to professionals in the performing arts and entertainment industry who have children between the ages of 1 to 18 who are living at home. Visit actorsfund.org/workshops. That's easy to remember for more information. That's great.
And they have so many other things.
So many.
Happy International Day of Dance, by the way. Just saying.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I just want to tell everybody there's something called Share the Floor. Just FYI, where you can take free dance classes. I want to make sure I have the right website. It's sharethefloorlive.com. And it's basically a live dance class every week. Vashti Monpoint hosts it every week. My friend Chris Catelli also helped put it together. So, there it is, sharethefloorlive.com.
Thank you, David.
And it's like, and if you can't even see it live, then you can watch it on demand on Broadway. What's it called? Broadway on demand. But the point is, it's every Thursday, and it just began today for International Day of Dance. So all you aspiring ballerinas, hit it.
Yes. So today we are celebrating Becca, a tribute to Rebecca Luker. That's going to be on next Tuesday. So we actually aren't doing a show next Tuesday.
Yeah, because we want all you mofos to be there.
We want everyone to watch and
buy a damn ticket.
Pay the ticket. That's right. And I want to read this before we bring on our guest. This is Target ALS. And I'll just read this.
Wait, someone totally picked up on this.
What?
Then I'm playing to the balcony. You know why? Because I see the cameras up there. I'm like, well, maybe I should be. I'm always looking at the screen, but I feel like it's
today I'm literally looking at the screen. And today
I'm playing literally to the balcony and the box seats.
Seth and I have learned this, that we usually take one way you could look at it as a couple. We take the opposite approach. We like to think in healthy terms that we take a complementary approach to things.
I like it. And by the way, I don't think this is your shirt. I think I just don't ever wear it that often. This isn't your shirt, right?
No, it is not my shirt.
No, but I don't wear it that often. All right, continue.
We're really clashing, by the way, in our shirt
Oh my
colors.
God, you're on a green. You're a totally different palette.
I don't know if it's working. Okay, Target ALS, before we bring everyone on. Target ALS is a 501c3 medical research foundation committed to the search for effective treatments. Oh my gosh,
I'll handle this.
It's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, but how do you actually...
ALS, please. I
can't pronounce it either. Okay. We envision a world in which no one dies of ALS, and we play a unique role in the battle against this disease. Founded in 2013 by former New York City Deputy Mayor Dan Doctoroff, who lost both his father and uncle to ALS, our approach is breaking down barriers and silos that have historically inhibited research results. We do this through our Target ALS innovation ecosystem, which facilitates unparalleled collaboration between researchers from academia and the pharma biotech industry. The Target ALS innovation ecosystem has revolutionized the field in just 7 years through collaborations that have resulted in 5 drugs now in clinical trials.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So,
I think you need to move more towards me because you're right in the house thing.
All right. So go ahead and show it, Seth, because we'll show it a couple of different times. Scroll down, I think, because David made the banner. There we go.
This one?
Either one. There's 2 of them there. So the virtual concert is going to be May 4th next week, and it's actually going to be aired 3 different times.
Yeah.
For people in Europe, people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, and everyone in between. And then the other one right there. Tickets are $20.
Yeah, which is
$20.
Really nothing. So just even if you can't watch it,
get your ticket at. I don't know if anyone.
Wait, I'm not going to.
That's a little bit crazy.
Okay, hold on.
Just like well, we got to get something better than that. So, David, do you mind getting a better? David will find it.
It's just l.ly/YY2.
I don't know why.
Why is anybody buying a ticket right now? Okay, so we have various people on tonight that are connected to this concert. Is there anything else I need to do in advance?
I think that's it. We don't have any clips. That's where you got to spend the $20 for, but we've got some great pictures.
Yeah.
Seth, of course, pulled amazing video clips as he always does.
Yeah, just of the various clowns on tonight.
That's
so
right.
First, please welcome, he sang with Rebecca all the time, Mr. Howard McGillin. Howard, you're on mute, but you look adorable. You don't have to mute yourself on this. It's not Zoom.
Oh, really? Hi, you guys.
Howard, I'm hoping that you're not wearing a shirt underneath your button down because it looks like your shirt is completely open. Oh, it is a shirt.
It is a shirt.
I thought it was like
almost matches his skin, so it just looks
Yeah.
like Howard's
Does
going
it really?
to look.
yes.
No,
But wait,
I'm way
Howard,
too old for that.
not at all.
No, you're not.
What are you doing tomorrow night, Howard McGillin?
Oh, I think I might be hanging with you guys. We'll do a little Druid reunion tomorrow night.
2 nights in a row. I love it.
Fabulous.
Okay. Then I have one of Rebecca's
Be sick of me.
one of Rebecca's bestest friends and singing partner. Please welcome Ms. Sally Wilfert. Hi, Sals.
Hello. How are you?
No, you're not on mute. How come you entered? Howard, get it together. Okay, and do not pull this tomorrow
Hi,
night.
Sally.
Hi, honey.
And Rebecca's husband, Danny, your light looks a little bit bright, but I'm just gonna go for it.
Why not?
Right? It just looks a little bit too. I want that Semitic. Yeah, I want that swarthy Semiticness. That's what I want. Here we go, Mr. Danny Burstein.
That's what I was going for. Yes,
I know, dear. Daniel, you're doing a TV show. And you're in your dressing room. Are you home? Where are you?
I'm home. Yeah, I'm shooting an episode of The Good Fight right now. So, yeah.
What
Yay.
person on Broadway is not on The Good Fight? Literally, everyone is on The Good Fight every single week. Who are you playing? A lawyer, a defendant? What are you?
I always play lawyers. You know, Burstein.
I got it. Say no more.
Yeah.
Okay, so Danny, I feel like you are the person that could tell us how this big event came together.
Can I? I actually.
Well, anyone jump in to help Danny.
Yeah,
How about that?
here's how I found out about it. A fellow named Steve Schoenberg wrote me at a time when a lot of people were writing me asking if they could use Rebecca's name for different events and charities and ways to memorialize her legacy, that kind of thing. And he was from an organization I wasn't familiar with called Target ALS. And I said, yeah, if you can help raise money for ALS research, finding effective treatments, by all means, go for it. And he said, do you want to sing? I said, absolutely not. So I just don't think, I'm not there yet. Or, it's just a little too sensitive yet. But I said, go for it. And he said, I'm going to ask all of her friends and anybody else who would be willing to join in. I'm going to ask them. And I said, that'd be wonderful. And gradually he just kept coming back to me and saying, I got this one, I got that one. And it's so exciting. It's turning into this wonderful event. And, I'm thrilled that Howard and of course, Sally are involved. So, and that's as much as I know about it. And Steve has just been incredibly kind along the way. And I'm as eager to, I haven't seen anything. So I'm as eager to see it as anybody else.
Danny, did you give him a list of people that you thought that would be great, or did he just come to you already with the list and you were like, check, check, check?
No, he wasn't even at that point. He just said that I'm going to start asking people. So I didn't know who he was going to ask. And so I've remained out of it. There are, so many things going on that way. And it's also just to be quite honest, thinking about it 24/7 is just emotional overload.
Yeah.
So I gladly let other people take over a while.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sure that when he presented you with the people that were going to do it, you were like, I'm in good hands.
Absolutely not. No, I did. I was like, no.
Cut.
Oh, that's it.
Well, Sally and Howard, you guys had to do your final callbacks for Danny, right?
Right.
It
Exactly.
was tense.
Yeah.
It was tense.
Yeah.
It was tense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no T-shirt when he did it. Yeah.
Oh.
Work, Cassie Couch.
Okay.
But Sally, you got the gig, I see. There you are
Yes,
recording,
I
sounding
did.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Howard, you got the gig.
I did.
And then there are a couple of other
Yeah.
unknowns. Judy Kuhn,
Oh,
Michael Cerveris.
Everyone looks so great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vicky Clark,
Magic of lighting.
Christine Daae, a fellow of Christine Daae, Sierra Bogus.
yay, Sierra. Wonderful.
Wow, it's going to be good.
Did Joe Falcon play for everybody?
Is he in the band photo? Let me see. Hold on. Let me look at the band
Sally,
played
photo.
for a lot of
the
it.
answer is yes.
A lot
most-
of people. Yes.
Joe is the best. As you see, Joe is constantly working with Rebecca. There's Joe with
Aw.
Rebecca and Howard.
It's the best picture.
Joe is one who Joe got me to Broadway. I subbed for him in my very first Broadway show. He got me the gig, my favorite year. We've known each other for a million years, and he's an incredible pianist. He's the only book I think that was almost too hard for me to play because he played Victor Victoria and I was his sub, and he has basically monster hands. So like it's so easy for him to just play all tenths, and I was like, ow, 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 just because he just is like, and you know, the book was created on his hands. I'm like, we're not all genetic freaks. Like some of us have a normal hands plan.
Yeah.
Infuriating.
True.
He is amazing.
He's an amazing pianist, no doubt about it, and human being.
Yeah.
And composer, by the way, on a side note.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll just show the picture so everyone sees everybody that's performing. Oh, right.
Nice.
Tam is
so
doing
also
it.
Laura and Chris
Cam Mutu.
Yes, Tam,
Santino.
Santino, and Kelly. Oh, that's so great. So
Mhm.
just for funsies, let's just tell some Becca stories because I see all these cute pictures. Like Sal, you sent all this. Like this, what is this cute?
Oh gosh, we were out one night and we just always took fun selfies of ourselves. And then I think I put it in like a Polaroid thing. And anyway, it was fun. Yeah. I think we were at Henry's.
But like this was, I guess, this was your production when you did the non-equity sideshow, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, you guys look so much alike. And then Howard, what would you? So you would do? Well, actually, go back 1 second. Sally, how did you meet? I remember meeting Rebecca first, Forever Plaid, when it was like back in the day, like back in the great days. So I remember Rebecca always being around. I'm like, that's that girl from the Secret Gardens. I remember seeing her there. And then I guess I probably first worked with her, I guess, on Harmony with Danny. But Sally, what was your connection to? How'd you first meet Bex?
We met in 2005. We were doing the Jenny Gearing, Beth Blatt reading of their show, The Mistress Cycle. And we met then. And of course, I knew who she was and I was a huge fan, but we had never met. And it was a break, like our first break or something. And we were just chatting. And I said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. She said, oh, I'll go with you. And so that was literally our first conversations as we sat on the toilets next to each other. And I mean, I fell in love because it was just like, you know, there was the passing of the toilet paper and then there was just like giggles. I just remember laughing immediately with her. And I thought, she's going to be in my life forever. And it was. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think people think, you know, because she was so stunning with that beautiful soprano voice, it was like, she's an ice princess. But she was actually like, she was so down to earth. McGillin, what about you? How did you guys meet, you and Bex?
We met at the Secret Garden. I took over from Andy in the Secret Garden. So we met backstage at the Secret Garden. I had seen Becca. I had been Wilfert Leach, God bless his soul, who was the artistic director at the Public Theater under Joe Papp, who gave me my start in New York. He literally cast me 10 days after I arrived in New York in La Boheme with Linda Ronstadt at the Public. That was my debut in New York. I mean, amazing, amazing start. And he also directed Drood. But so Patty Konauer was playing Rosebud and she was leaving the show and they were holding casting for the show. And Wilfert said, you want to come in and hear some people sing? And I went in and sat down in the dark theater and I heard Rebecca sing Moonfall and thought, oh my God, who is this? Just beautiful, beautiful, tall, blonde woman who with the voice of God. And then there I was doing Secret Garden with her. And we played for I think a year and a half or so.
Go back. She had the nerve not to be cast? The hell?
I know. What can I say? What can I say? It was his one mistake in life.
And Daniela, did you meet Rebecca doing Harmony? Like, did we all three meet at the same time?
No, I met Rebecca the same day I met Howard doing Time and Again at the Old Globe. It was a musical that never wound up coming to New York. Oh, actually it did wind up. Susan Schulman wound up directing Manhattan Theater Club. But this was a production that Jack O'Brien was directing at the Old Globe. And Howard and Rebecca were the leads and myself and KT Sullivan were the sidekicks. And yeah, so we met the same day.
George Dvorsky, Jessica Molaski.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bill Perry. Great
Bill
cast.
Perry. It was an amazing cast. And that show I thought was beautiful. It had an amazing score too by Skip Kennan. And we all became fast friends. Yeah.
And Dan, is it that kind of thing where like we all knew Rebecca first as a performer and then you got to meet her as a person? Like, had you seen her work before?
I'd never seen her work before.
Oh, that's actually probably better.
Garden is one of the, I should probably find out. Well, I'm sure Lincoln Center has it, but I have not gone to see it yet. I'm not, just don't know that I can just yet, but I will, because I always wanted to see that production. Yeah, the score, needless to say, every time it pops onto my phone, I have to stop and just listen. Sure,
and in Becca's voice, I mean, my God, Come to My Garden and all those. I think Sierra is going to be singing some of that for the special next Tuesday.
Oh, good.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I love your voice so much. So yeah, wonderful.
Oh, that'll be fabulous. Here's speaking of fast friends, Howard and Richard and you and Beck, this adorable photo. When was this taken, Howard McGillin?
Oh, isn't that great? That wasn't, Danny, I don't think that was long after we came back from San Diego. I don't know.
Really? Gosh, I don't remember, because I didn't see Becca for about a little over a year. And that's when we did Harmony. After that. So yeah.
A year and a half later.
Yeah. Something like that.
We're talking about Rebecca's amazing voice, and it's mean not to play anything. So I'm going to show a clip. We did one of the many Broadway cruises we've done together, and Melissa Erica was on it. And I was like, you guys both have great voices. And I recently heard my friend Varla Jean Merman, who's a drag queen, sing this duet. But I'm like, Rebecca, you'd sound great. So basically, I don't know opera, but I heard Varla sing this. So this is Rebecca and Melissa in rehearsal. Phil Hall is playing before we came on the cruise, but they both sound amazing. And I love that Rebecca's doing her amazing dynamic direction. You'll see. Anyway, they just sound great. Rebecca's on top and Melissa's on the bottom. Melissa, this is just a rehearsal, but it's so great.
My face not so much.
And one.
The stunning, that's rehearsal. That's just called Rebecca, like, oh, I'll try it. And then perfect. We are here, by the way, if you're liking that music, just saying we like the music, you need to get those $20 tickets. As you see, it's at Owl. Okay, hold on. David, hold on. We've got to get that link. Hold on.
Oh, there you go. Look, there you go.
See?
Thank you, David.
David, you're the best. You go to celebrateBecca.com.
That's super easy.
I feel like I'm the only person who didn't call her Becca. I still called her basically not Ms. Luker, but I called her Rebecca. Did everybody call her Becca except for me? I feel like I'm such a all right. I don't know why. I just felt it was too personal. All right, Sally, we were saying how people thought she was an ice princess, but she was hilarious. So Sally and Howard, I need to hear a comedy story. Howard, how about something from you? And by the way, Howard, you sent this photo and I want to know what this photo is all about. 1, 2, 3, looks amazing.
Well, it's my favorite photo of Becca, I think, in a way, because we went to Tokyo together to sing, and actually I had to talk her into going. She was like, I don't know, it's a long ass trip, and oh my God, is it enough money? And we can talk about that in a minute, because there was no one better at negotiating a contract than Becca Luker. I found this out early when we decided we were going to try to put together concerts as a team, and with Joe Thalkin, who was our music director. We got together and decided we were going to do this, and we were putting together some concerts. And I got a call from a promoter out in California who said, we'd like to book you. And I called Becca and I said, we've got a booking. Here are the terms, and it's these dates. And she said, oh no, not enough money. Go back, ask for more. And I did, and we got it.
Yeah.
And Joe and I, from that date on, said, Becca's handling all negotiations.
I love it. By the way, I never had to haggle with her at all. I love that she was so good at that, though. That's so typical when you're an actor.
She knew what she was worth.
Mm-hmm.
So that picture was of her on the plane going to Tokyo, and of course with the sushi and everything. And she said, "Oh, I'm going all in. I'm going all in. Going for the sushi."
And is this actually Tokyo? I can't tell.
That's Tokyo. Yeah, we had terrible jet lag. We it's a 14-hour flight, and you're flying backwards through time. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but anyway, it's an entire different month when you arrive, and we couldn't sleep, and it was around 3 a.m. New York time when we woke up, and we said, "What are we going to do?" It's 8 a.m. in Tokyo, and we said, I said, "There's this wonderful shrine in Tokyo that we should go see. It's a beautiful walk." And we went out in the rain. It was actually raining, but it was just a beautiful day. Beautiful day with Becca. That's her standing under the gate to the shrine.
And Sally, when you guys did your show 54 Below, was Rebecca like, I'll negotiate? What was it like?
She absolutely did. Absolutely. It was always like, oh, that's not enough. I think they can do better.
Yeah.
It was always, yeah, she always thought, I think they can do better. But yeah.
I love it.
Very funny.
Yeah.
And Danny, what about you when you gave her allowance? Would she always ask for more? It's the 50s, right? It's the 1950s.
Yes. And I gave her the diamond ring. She went, oh, no. That's not big enough.
It's not big enough.
Not big enough. No. Actually, she wasn't, she was a great negotiator that way. She was charming, and she let them know that she was, as Howard said, she knew her worth. Mm-hmm. And she knew that they would get a great show. So, she was not afraid to negotiate, and which also meant she was not afraid to let it go if it had to go.
Yeah.
And negotiating from that kind of stance always works the best.
I found that so fascinating, Danny, about Becca, because I felt I related to Becca in so many ways, and in some ways she seemed so insecure. Her kind of her sweetness and her vulnerability was so out in the open that it was surprising when she could be that strong. And but she was, of course, fierce, and tough when she had to be tough.
But she led from a very open place. She led from her heart, and with an open heart. And so she came at everybody in the same way. It didn't matter who you were. She treated you exactly the same. But it took a lot for her to move here from the South. And it took a lot of guts. And she came here with $200 in her pocket and started working at Windows on the World at the top of the Twin Towers for a little while. And then very shortly after started booking things. And, and then I think the Phantom of the Opera came pretty quickly.
Yeah, original company.
Yeah. original company. She was the mirror girl.
Oh, right, the horrible, the bad. But yeah, I always think it is so interesting that she is Southern. And was her family like, don't move to New York? It's like, it's evil. Like, were people trying to keep her back?
I think they were scared for her, but they helped her out. They were supportive and kind. They always have been. So, yeah.
I have actually a photo of Rebecca and Sally after negotiation. This is what it looked like right after. It was brutal.
It was brutal, but they got it done.
That was at a rehearsal. Gosh, where were we? I'm forgetting where it was. And we did that. Was that 54 Below? Anyway, we had a rehearsal because we said, gosh, it's a new show. Maybe we should do it in front of some people, like of just friends, before we do it, which ended up being just Joe and Annette Gillespie, our director. And we bombed. So it was flop sweat. And I think we were like Ripley Greer. And I mean, we couldn't remember any lyrics. We couldn't remember any of them. And she'd say, Becca was so funny because she always knew her lyrics, my words, her words. And she would, if I did make a mistake, my process is always like, let me work it out. And she'd mouth she knew my words. And I would look at her. And that night I was like, stop, don't tell me. And she was like, I'm sorry. She's like, but it's the instead of and. And I'm like this. It gave me such glee that day. I had to give her words. And she was like, she expletive. She's like, oh, wait. And it was like the whole thing. So afterwards, we have to get a picture. We were both like, are we really doing this in 2 days? Because it was a hot mess. And
then cut to, it was amazing.
Yeah. That's so well.
That was a beautiful.
And that DVD and CD, I remember having on the show, but is it both a DVD and a CD, or is it just a CD of your show at 54
Just an audio, just a CD. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but there are YouTube links from the show when it was a smaller show at 54 Below. Those are up as well, and they're really so great to see.
Sally, reminder, because we're about to go to our medical break, but tell everyone the name of the CD and how they can find it before we go to our break.
All the Girls, and you can find it streaming on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Play, all of the above. And then you can also purchase it at Amazon and at PS Classics, who produce it. You can find it at psclassics.com. Yeah.
It's so good. And it is really like Sideshow because I cannot tell who's on what part. I mean, like who's on top, who's on the bottom. It's just the same stunning voice. You literally, it's unbelievable. Not just look alike, sound alike.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And Rebecca was super proud of it.
Mm-hmm. So good. And so Joe Falcon arrangements. Okay, we got to take our medical break, but after that, we're going to come back. We have amazing photos and 2 more amazing videos I'm going to show that you guys are going to love.
All right, everyone. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, Howard, Sally, Danny, please welcome to Stars in the House, our friend, Dr. Jon LaPook, the chief medical correspondent of CBS News, who is coming from sunny Southern California. I see that sun. He is not on the East Coast.
Whoa.
Hi, guys. Kate and I spent one lovely evening with Danny and Rebecca at a wedding, seated across from them. And couldn't have been more gracious and lovely and wonderful. And I'm in sunny California. I'm at my father-in-law's. This is his study. This is Norman Lear's study.
What are those
photos?
That's lots of photos. And he's behind me.
Oh, hold on. Then I'll do the wide shot. I didn't want to.
There we go. Kate.
There's a hat.
I see the hat.
Back of his head, getting dirty and sweaty.
Hi, Norman. Hi, Kate.
Hi, and they're looking at stuff because Norman and Lynn sold their house and they're moving and they're downsizing and going through stuff.
Are they moving in with you and Kate in the Vermont house? What's the deal?
No, they're going to go to another place in LA. And it's that stage of life, when you
downsize.
When you hit 98 and a half, you start thinking about downsizing and going through all sorts of books and stuff.
I'll take all in the Family scripts. Just send them over to me.
Save one for us. Okay, we're gonna do it on close up to let
there we go.
And wife and father-in-law have their time.
Sun is coming in. I guess the medical news here is a little birdie told me it's not official, but sometime in the near future, there's been an application that Pfizer has made to the FDA for 12 to 15-year-olds to get the vaccine approved.
That's a big deal.
Being considered, and sometime in the next near future, we're not being told exactly when, but I bet you it's within a week at the very most, and could be a lot sooner.
Hey, what do you think about the whole de Blasio? New York's opening in July. It'll be fully open. Any comment on that? Because my head was exploding.
I always think it's look at what the data is right now in your region, which brings you to a bigger question, which is, we talk about the carrots and the stick here. The carrot is the vaccine. If you get vaccinated, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But the country is very heterogeneous. So there are going to be little pockets where there's, flare-ups in some areas and not so much flare-ups in the other areas. You can look at this selfishly as how can I make my little expanded pod? Your pod could be your apartment, your home, your city, your state. So how can you create the widest area, circumference of low amount of COVID? And the way you do that is by getting everybody, if you can't control the rest of the country or the rest of the world, do your neighborhood. Get everybody everybody they know to try to lower the number of cases to get vaccinated, which is the way to do it. Doesn't have to be the magic. I spoke to Tony Fauci yesterday before the State of the Union address, because I was on afterwards, talking about it. And I said, you've heard me say this before. You don't have to be smart. You just have to know somebody smart. So I said, what should I say? He said, don't let people get hung up on the magical 75 to 80% that you need for herd immunity. It's not an on-off switch. It's a gradual ramp up. And if you look at Israel, who's at about 60%, they've had a dramatic fall in cases. Right. And we just had the study come out from the CDC showing 94% decrease in hospitalizations in people who have had the messenger RNA, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. This vaccine works. This vaccine is safe. If you want to get back to doing things normally, you want to open New York City in the summer, get everybody vaccinated.
Right.
And you'll see the numbers come down, because the numbers last time I looked at it was still about 5% positivity in New York. That's too high.
Right.
So bring it down. And then, I would say week to week, you make these decisions. Now, it's not an on-off switch. It's a rheostat. It's one of those dimmer switches. So it looks like it's heating up. It's not looking so good. Turn it down a little. Doesn't mean totally turn it off. Turn it down. Back off. People by now know what that means.
Can I ask something?
Go ahead.
My friend, a really close friend of mine, she was like, I got the vaccine, but I felt like a lemming jumping off a cliff. Just saying, we know nothing long-term about this freaking thing. So don't we though? Hasn't this vaccine been used before, but just COVID specific now? But don't we know the long-term effects?
Well, first of all, it's already more than a year since the first phase 1 started. So we have a lot of experience. There are hundreds of millions of people who've gotten the vaccine. In the United States alone, hundreds of millions of doses have been given. And now we're getting it. Let's see, it was December, January, February, March, April, 4. We're going on 5 months. And we know just theoretically, if you look at how it works, it's hard to, I think the big issue is not going to be that a rare side effect pops up a year from now. I guess it could, but we're looking, we already picked up a 1 in a million side effect in J&J for women over 50 and 7 in a million under. So we're picking those up. I guess the big issue is how long will it take before it starts to wear off? And that's a different issue. Okay, we may need a little booster, but she should not feel like a lemming jumping off a cliff or going into, the ocean.
Because they don't have long-term, like vaccines don't have an effect 5 years from now or something that like.
There's no reason to think that the side effects that the rare side effects people get are usually, in the near future after getting the vaccine.
Dr. LaPook, this question here, and I wonder if this might make a difference for people. When does the status change from emergency use to standard?
Such a good question. So it's emergency use authorization to actually getting approved.
Right.
And, once it gets approved, then it can be some stricter stuff going on in terms of the FDA and reporting, not reporting, but the FDA sort of looking over it and the requirements from Pfizer. I wonder if I'm Pfizer or Moderna, what the incentive is to go from emergency use to approved. It may actually not be so great for them to do that. So I don't know that you're going to see that in the very near future. At some point, it should be approved, and that's going to be when more data comes in, and the FDA is going to be able to look at it and say, look, we really think now it should be officially approved. Same thing with these tests, the home tests. It's emergency use now. And there's a little codicil in there that says once it's no longer a national emergency, that can be withdrawn. You're going to have more formal approval procedures. But in this case, the emergency use authorization, because the eyes of the world were upon the process, was very, very strict. And you remember, if you're worried about that and you think it was rushed anyway, remember how the last administration was so irritated that it was not approved or was not authorized before the election. Well, that was done because the FDA said, no, you can put all the pressure you want on us. We're not doing it because we don't have the 60 days of safety data that we said we wanted. That should make you feel pretty. There was a lot of pressure coming.
Right.
So look, if you're home looking at this, I will end with this. There's vaccine hesitancy that we're hearing about, okay, which is people who just are on the fence and they're not sure they really want to do it. That number is 17% right now. We got to bring that down. But not everybody who doesn't take the vaccine is vaccine hesitant. There are also people who don't get it because they don't have access to it.
Right.
Still, it's harder if you're a person of color. It's statistically been less distribution to them. You may be working and you can't take time off to do it. You may be in a remote area. And now you heard last night President Biden say, we're going to have delivery. There'll be a place where people can get vaccinated within 5 miles of everybody. These are the kind of logistical nitty-gritty things to get the last, they used to call it the last mile in Africa, like when you develop a drug and you're delivering it and you go the thousands of miles and finally you get it to the city and then the village and out there the last mile to get it to the 10 people who are outside of the small village. Those last people, we need to get everybody.
Right.
Well, we're getting there. I was actually telling James, I think we're in the middle of the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm very hopeful. We know that the numbers were 3 million a day, and now they're like 1.5 million or so a day. That's because there are fewer people, first of all, who can get it. If it's 1% of people were getting it, and there were 300 million people who didn't get it, and 1% of that is 3 million, and now there's 150 million people who didn't get it or something, it's going to be a lower number of people to get it. But I really hope we don't slow down. I really hope that people don't take it for granted and say, oh, I don't need to get it. Everybody needs to get it. That's your ticket out. That is your ticket out. That's how you can do that. And the last thing I'll say is this. How many times have I said the last thing I'm going to say? 11 million people in this country who have immune disorders, where like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and scleroderma, where they have to take medications to lower their immune system. And also people get organ transplants, about 620,000. They need medicines to lower their immune system. They don't reject the organs. Those people, it looks like, do not have as predictable a response to the vaccine. They may get a good response, they may not, because their immune system has been depressed by the medication they're taking, so they may not get the same antibody response. They may have a false sense of security having been vaccinated. So number one, people are talking about them actually checking their antibodies for the spike antibodies, not the one from a year ago, which looked at something else, nuclear capsid, to see if you've been infected by COVID itself. But there's a special antibody test to see if those antibodies from the vaccine got kicked up. So that's called the spike antibody. If you are somebody who's gotten vaccinated and you're taking immunosuppressive drugs, talk to your doctor about possibly doing that, because they can have a false sense of security. And that's even more reason for everybody to get vaccinated, because even if you're not helping yourself, maybe you'll be lucky and you'll be fine. If you could infect somebody who is immunosuppressed, who thinks that they're safe, or maybe people who, just weren't able to get the vaccine and you want to protect them too.
Yeah, be nice to your neighbor. All right. Thank you, Dr. LaPook. We will see you tomorrow night for the Mystery of Evan Drood reunion.
Good night, guys.
Bye, Norman. Bye, Kate.
Norman. Bye, Kate.
Bye.
Hilarious. Don't forget All in the Family Script.
That's right.
Okay.
All in the Family Script. That's right.
We are here because we have a big concert coming up next week. I'm going to tell you what the information is one more time. All you have to do is just go to celebratebecca.com. You can go there right now while you're watching the show. Nothing's stopping you from opening up another window and just getting a ticket.
And you can pick the time, because there's 3 different times that it's going to be airing on May 4th.
And even if you can't go, it's just called a delicious donation.
That's
and
right,
it's going to
$20.
help. So let me bring back our 3 friends, Ms. Wilfert, Mr. McGillian, and lawyer Burstein. Danny, I was just thinking, I was like, God, I know so many things about Danny that people don't know. And I don't even know if Howard knows the story. Would you please talk about when you were doing a class act. One of my favorite and most devastating stories, an understudy's dream. It was like, you're on for a week. Please talk about that.
When I did that off Broadway or Broadway?
When you were supposed to be on for a week and you decided to be a straight man and play baseball.
Oh, shit.
That's
Yes. I was playing with the Broadway Show League, where real men play baseball. And it was actually softball. And I was wearing cleats because that's what real men do. And I was running for a fly ball in left field. And I hit, there used to be a sidewalk that used to run through the outfield in one of the fields in Central Park. And I ran onto the sidewalk on my cleats. And it was like I was on ice skates. And I just went, and I fell, and it felt like I twisted my ankle. And I thought, oh, no, God, I have to be on tonight. No, God, how am I going to do the show with a twisted ankle? And I looked down to see my foot, to see how it was, and it wasn't there. It had actually spun around and was facing backwards. Yes. And who was the kid? Yes. And you know who was on my team? The first thing I saw was because he was doing a show on Broadway, was Macaulay Culkin. This is absolutely true. He was on my team. He came running at me like this, and he went, "Are you okay?"
He went like this.
Remember, these huge stagehands would run up and go, "Hey man, you're gonna be because it looked pretty bad." And then they took me to Lenox Hill Hospital, and they said, "How long ago did this happen?" I said, "About 20 minutes ago." And they said, "We have to put your foot back. We have to do it now because after 20 minutes, the nerves die and you could lose your foot." So it took them 3 tries to push my foot. This is really fun as I'm talking about. It took them 3 tries to push my foot back into place. And I'm such a crazy musical theater queen that as they were doing it, I was going literally like this, and they finally snapped it into place. And I went, in the middle of the ER, I went, hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. That's
were you on drugs? Like, were you more fit out for that?
No, it's just
wait,
crazy.
Danny, wasn't Becca there? And because she loved watching anything medical, anything like that. And you were like, no.
Yeah. And she said, "Can I stay?" And I went, "No." I just want me and the doctor. Actually, there were 2 huge male nurses holding me down. It was something.
Oh my God. It's one of my favorite stories.
Oh my God.
But anyway, this concert, in all seriousness, this concert could help raise a lot of money for Project ALS, which is trying to find effective treatments for ALS.
Target ALS.
Target ALS.
Target
Forgive me.
ALS.
Thank you so much. There are so many different organizations, but this one finds effective treatments for ALS, and that it didn't come quick enough for Rebecca, but we're hoping that maybe we'll save somebody else's lives along the way, and that would be a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Your Project ALS is for Procetin, one specific drug. Target ALS says that they have 5 different drugs that they are already
they're doing a lot of the same kind of thing, which is great. And they're both wonderful organizations run by great people. So
okay, wait, I have more. So I wanted to show
clip, right?
Yeah, first, because like I said, everyone's always like, "Oh, Rebecca, the blonde ice queen soprano, just stunning." But she actually loved, like when we did the cruise together, You Gotta Get a Gimmick, and she was Miss Mazeppa. Like she loved going against type. So here's when she, at this clip, Danny, that I saw you post, when she was in 9, looking so stunning as a brunette. Holy cow.
I know.
So sultry as the Italian. Did she love doing that show, Danny?
She loved it. She had a blast. working with Antonio Banderas and then John Stamos afterwards, and that incredible company with Cheetah Rivera at first, and then Eartha Kitt took over.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was such an amazing place just to go visit her backstage. All the brilliant women in that show.
Did she think about going brunette after it? Because she looks amazing as a brunette.
I asked her to. No. She was hot. Look, she was hot no matter what. I always thought so beautiful.
She had it going on. Here's
She
the
had
thing.
it going on, yeah.
This is her 9 with full Italian and sounding amazing. So sultry. Watch this.
Special to me in my life since the first day that I met you. How could I ever forget you once you had touched my soul?
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow. Wow.
I'll never forget when she did The Sound of Music, and she came running down the ramp at the very beginning of the show, and she started singing "The Hills Are Alive," and she was so impossibly beautiful, and she sounded so incredible. I thought it almost seemed like there was somebody had put a record on, because it was so perfect. It was like watching a movie, because she was so beautiful and sounded like so. She was so flawless. It was amazing. It was.
She could sing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really could.
Anything.
Yeah, and
Right.
Sally continues to carry on that legacy and sound just as beautiful. And
Oh,
and we're
nobody ever will be like her. Ever.
I feel honored to know both of you guys. Really.
You know, Sally, you reminded me of something when you were talking earlier about Becca, knowing everyone's part, knowing every measure of. I learned early on with Becca. One of the very first things I did, I think, was an encores or something where we sang something together. And like years and years ago, well, actually, it was after we did Secret Garden. But anyway, she knew the entire score when she walked in the first day of rehearsal. Danny, she was amazing that way. Her mind was so quick, and she was such an amazing reader. By the way, she could sight read any music.
Yeah.
And I was always like, "Oh, you better know your shit, Howard. You better get it together." Because
she also, when she had a great story, Danny, you know this story, when she was young, growing up, and she was on the rifle corps. Is that what it's called? Like in high school or something, where you throw the rifles in the air and it's this very, choreographed thing.
Yeah, she was a rifle twirler.
Right. Yeah. And so she never dropped it. She said, "I never dropped it. Not once. Not once." And it's the most hilarious story about this one girl, and I can't remember who. Anyway, there's one.
Lisa McGuffey.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's her name.
Okay, because she dropped it, and Rebecca would be like, because she'd be like, boom, and it would pat, and I would make her tell the story all the time because it just made me pee with laughter, and she was always very punctual. She was on time, if not early, always. And anyway, so
she gave Lisa McGuffey a note one day, and she always told the story because Lisa McGuffey went, "Rebecca Luker, kiss my ass," like that.
Rebecca Luker, yeah, I remember that story. So wasn't she late getting to the bus, and Rebecca's like,
Something like that.
Rebecca Luker, kiss my ass.
So Southern. So Danny, you got to play opposite Rebecca in Time and Again and Harmony?
No. Howard played opposite Becca in Time and Again.
Oh, you were in Harmony.
Yes,
You were on the stage.
Yeah, I was on the stage.
You were also on the stage.
Yeah.
Oh, but you weren't opposite. So what was it? So Danny, what was it like playing opposite Rebecca on stage?
It was lovely. It was wonderful. I'll never forget one of the reviews for Harmony in San Diego. And we were so madly in love while working on that show. And one of the reviews in one of the local papers said they have no chemistry together. I thought, if you only knew.
Oh, it's like
The action backstage. Yes.
So funny. We were so in love, and we had a dance together that Artie Phillips choreographed. It was so lovely. It was a blessed time. It really was.
It was. It was nice being out there. It was beautiful out there. What's it called? Del Mar? Is that where we were staying? I can't remember the name of the place.
Well, we were in Del Mar there, yes, for the Old Globe. But I went to grad school out there. So I lived in La Jolla for 3 years.
Oh, so you knew it well.
I
and
did.
then McGillin, what was it like for you playing opposite Rebecca Luker? Rebecca Luker
Oh
kissed
my
my
God.
ass.
Well, yeah.
Her full name.
Yeah. Becca Luker kissed my ass. It was splendid. What can I say? Singing with that woman, with that voice, that voice from God and that beautiful, beautiful woman, was just, it was heaven, absolute heaven. I got to share a lot of time on stage with her over the years, kind of sporadically from the very top with Secret Garden, where I think we ran together maybe about a year and a half or more.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we did Time and Again, and we had a couple things here and there that we did that didn't quite go, but just, oh my God.
And Secret Garden was when she was in her alternative lifestyle, people know, because she got a short haircut and she would leave the theater with Allison Frazier, and there was a giant rumor that they were both lesbian lovers. Do you remember that?
No, I did not hear that.
Yes, Rebecca told me because her hair was short. They were like, they must be lovers now. It's like, why? Of course, she loved it. She was like, all right. She'll take it.
She wore her hair short when I first saw her at that audition for Drood. She had a very short haircut. It's very attractive.
Yeah.
I must say.
It
It was hard for her to look bad.
I want to make sure I'm really promoting this well.
That's right.
So that's the website. You can be getting tickets right now for it. Tickets are only $20.
This coming Tuesday.
Okay, hold on. Okay. I want to also just show this 2-minute clip before we go to the next thing. This is just something from the Actors Fund, just so people know what we're actually raising money for, because of course we haven't promoted that enough. So these are some celebrities that got together to talk about what the Actors Fund does. Please enjoy this.
When COVID-19 shut down our industry, Seth and James went to work. They've made Stars in the House a must-see live streaming show to raise support and awareness for the Actors Fund, to help professionals in the performing arts and entertainment community across film, theater, television, music, opera, radio, and dance through programs that address our unique and essential needs.
We're helping over 40,000 colleagues from every part of the country. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, the fund has grown our support groups, career guidance, housing resources, financial education, and health insurance counseling.
We've also continued our care and support for everyone living at the Actors Fund home. That's our seniors residence in New Jersey, and the Palm View in West Hollywood, and the Dorothy Ross Friedman and Schermerhorn residences in New York City.
And we have provided millions of dollars in direct financial assistance to our colleagues in need to help them put food on the table, a roof overhead, and medical care.
We're doing all of this and more because of people like you and people like Seth and James. To donate, visit starsinthehouse.com. Thank you for supporting a life in the arts.
Hey, speaking of donating, Sally Wilfert, will you go to the private chat and read one of the donations we just got?
Yes. In memory of the wonderful Rebecca Luker, I saw her in The Music Man, The Sound of Music, and many concert appearances. I saw her husband, Danny, in The Drowsy Chaperone and chatted with him briefly at the stage door. He was very friendly, and I said to him, I love your wife. And he smiled and said, me too. Kevin from Virginia donated $55.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. What a lovely story.
That's lovely.
Yeah. And Danny, because you were talking about how amazing Rebecca was in Sound of Music, I just found this clip. I thought we could relive her loveliness when she was a nun.
My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a child that flies from a church on a breeze. To laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones in its way. To sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of bells. And I'll
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
That was I moved to New York in 98, and I think that was one of the first Broadway shows that I saw. And I don't know if they had $20 tickets or something, but I was in the front row center, and I thought, wow, is this how every performer is on Broadway? Because that's what it is all about. I wish I'd moved to New York a lot earlier.
Well, the answer is no. It's not.
I found out that's true. I found out Rebecca's one of the exceptions to the rule as far as such a stunning performance. But I'll never forget being in what was Martin Beck, right?
Yeah.
Martin Beck, front row center. And I had literally just moved to New York.
Let me bring everybody back. How great was that, Howard and Sally and Danny?
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
My God. Okay, so I want to just close with this clip because, again, everyone thinks that was Rebecca, that she was this, blonde soprano nun, and she was not. This is you, Sally. This is the two of you. I have the last couple minutes from the Women's Empowerment Medley. Can we discuss that sassafras? Who came up with that? Falcon?
We all three did. It was very much a collaboration. Yeah, we just said, we thought it would be funny to take some, songs that women or men were sort of demeaning women, and then have a turn for the women in the middle. Like, wait a minute, we don't have to be treated like this. So we had such fun putting this together.
Rebecca sounds so good on the harmony and Hard-Hearted Hannah. It's so good the way she comes. My God, I was listening to it over and over again. This will be our closing clip. So I want to just remind people.
That's right.
So before we
CelebrateBecca.com.
Yeah, so as you're enjoying it, you could be buying a ticket. It's not expensive, but man, it's really going to help.
And Howard, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here, Sally, Danny. Thank you.
You're welcome
For coming.
Thanks, guys.
What a lovely night.
Thank you.
We'll see you, Mystery Reb and Druid reunion, and Danny, we'll see you Broadway Show League reunion.
Definitely. Oh, I'll be there.
I know you will, girl. Okay, everybody enjoy this amazing clip, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
All right,
1,
good night,
2, 3.
everyone.
Good night.
They call her hard-hearted Hannah, the lamb of Savannah, the meanest girl in town. Leather is tough, but Hannah's heart is tougher. She's the gal who likes to see men suffer, to tease and thrill and to torture and kill is her delight, they say. I saw her at the seashore with a great big pan. There was Hannah pouring water on a drain. terrible player. You show a lack of discretion. You don't know jack about heartache. You're out of sync with your feelings. You only wink at commitment. You're already low on emotion. What you don't know about women, it's only a drop in the ocean next to what you know